Hey, shalom, YouTube. This is Yahweh Weeps. Hello. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, this video is on the Antichrist. Now, I thought that it would be good for me to read off the pertinent scriptures that I know are about the Antichrist. There's numerous scriptures, I think, that some people think are about the Antichrist, and I'm not convinced, so I'm not really going to go into those. I'm just going to read off the ones that I think have to do with the Antichrist, and I will interject my own thoughts as I go along a little bit, and then when I'm done reading, I'll do more of my own thoughts on this. So, I am just going to start. I will start with first Yohchanan, or John. So Yohchanan Aleph, or 1 John chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. Now by this we know that we have come to know him, and that him is referring to Yahweh the Almighty, if we guard and carefully attend to his instructions. The one who says, I have come to know him, referring to Yahweh, and yet doesn't guard and carefully attend to his instructions is a liar, and the truth is not in such a person. But whoever guards and carefully attends to his utterances, truly in this person the love of Yahweh of Elohim has been matured and accomplished. By this we know that we are in him. The one who says he remains in Yahweh of Elohim is himself indebted to walk just as Yehoshua walked. And when I said Yahweh of Elohim, that's because from what I found in the Brit Hadashah, what is commonly known as the New Covenant or New Testament, the name Yahweh is there, but it's indicated by placeholders like abbreviation or letters that indicate the name is supposed to be there. That you're supposed to read the name there, even though it's just a letter or two. But I'm not always sure which one is supposed to be there because I'm not familiar with the placeholders and I don't know where all of them are. But I just know that when it says Theos in the Greek, that it's either referring to Yahweh or Elohim, but I'm not sure which. So that's why I read Yahweh of Elohim. Okay, that's First Yohchanan, or Yohchanan Aleph, chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. Now in Yohchanan Aleph, or 1 John chapter 2, verse 18, and also verses 22 and 23, it reads this: Children, it's the last hour, and just as you've heard that the Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have appeared. We know from this that it is the last hour. Who is the liar? But, oh, you know what? I'm going to start this over. Because I want to comment on the previous section that I read. So he's basically saying that the one who claims to know Yahweh, that claims to know the Creator, they're being honest if they guard and carefully attend to his instructions, his utterances, the things that he says to do. So that way you know they're actually telling the truth. If they say that they know the Creator, if they know Yahweh, and they don't follow his instructions, they're a liar. They're not telling the truth. They're being dishonest. You know that they don't know what they're talking about. So, and the person that claims to know Yahweh and is walking according to his instructions, he's indebted to walk just as Yehoshua walked. So if Yehoshua followed the instructions, then he's indebted to follow the instructions himself or herself, whichever. But as I was reading before, children, it's the last hour. And just as you heard that the Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have appeared. We know from this that it is the last hour. Who is the liar but the person who denies that Yehoshua is Hamashiach? This one is the Antichrist, the person who denies the Father and the Son. Everyone who denies the Son doesn't have the Father either. The person who confesses the Son has the Father also. So in this we learned that there's an Antichrist being who's coming, but many Antichrists have appeared at that time. The time he was writing this, there were many Antichrists that have appeared. Okay? And he was saying, we know it's the last hour. Now, he's not talking about, like, we know it's the last 60 minutes. He's talking about, we know it's the last time. It's the last segment of time that's going on. And of course, he wrote this like 2,000 years ago. So we know that it's been the last segment of time. This span of time that we've been in for the last couple thousand years has been the last segment of time. And that if someone denies Yehoshua is Hamashiach, if they deny that Yehoshua is the Messiah, then that person is a liar. So the person who denies that Yehoshua is the promised coming Messiah, that person is a liar. And that person is an Antichrist. That's what he says. Now going on, in Yohchanon Aleph, or 1 John chapter 4, verses 1 through 3, it says this: Dear friends, don't believe every ruach, or breath, but critically examine the ruchot, or breaths, to determine if they are from Yahweh of Elohim, because many false spokesmen have gone out into humanity. By this you know the ruach, or breath, of Yahweh of Elohim. Every ruach, or breath, that confesses Yehoshua as Hamashiach, who has come as a fully human being, or in the flesh, is from Yahweh of Elohim. But every ruach, or breath, that does not confess Yehoshua is not from Yahweh of Elohim. And this is the ruach breath of the Antichrist. So, and that ruach breath commonly gets translated as spirit, but I think it's talking about like not only your breath, but what you speak, what you profess, what you confess with your mouth, and what's basically the thoughts that you have that are coming forth in your words, your mouth, and your actions. So, and he's saying that, let's see. Oh, when he says false spokesman, a lot of times it gets translated into prophets, but that's from the Hebrew is nebaim and means one who pours forth, and it's referring to one who pours forth the messages of Yahweh. So it's somebody who's a spokesman for Yahweh. And he's saying, you know, the breath, the words, the message of Yahweh. Every message that confesses Yehoshua Hamashiach, Yehoshua as Hamashiach, who has come as a fully human being. And it says in the flesh, but that in the flesh is referring to the ways of humanity, or the natural way of humanity, or as a human. Okay? So what I found in the flesh, that's what it means. So if he doesn't confess Yehoshua as a fully human being, and it's saying every ruach, or breath, that does not confess Yehoshua is not from Yahweh of Elohim. And I think the confessing Yehoshua as a fully human being is implied there, because it's contrasting with the previous statement. So it's a contrast, saying that every breath, or ruach, or message that does not confess Yehoshua as a fully human being coming from Yahweh, coming from Yahweh of Elohim, is Antichrist. So that's Antichrist. Going on, Yohchanan Beit, or 2 John chapter 6, verse 10. This is the direction, that just as you've heard from the primacy beginning, that you walk in, or live in obedience to it, because many impostors who are leading others into error through corruption and deception have gone out into the world. People who don't admit and proclaim Yehoshua Hamashiach coming as purely a human being, or coming in the flesh. This person is the impostor leading others into error and the anti-Messiah. So he says there that somebody who does not profess Yehoshua as purely a human being is an anti-Messiah, an Antichrist. Watch out so that you don't lose the things we've worked for, but that you'll receive a completely full reward. Everyone who goes and leads forward and doesn't remain in the teaching of Hamashiach, so they're going and leading forward beyond the teaching of Hamashiach, does not hold on to Yahweh, or Yahweh of Elohim. The one who remains, the one who remains in this teaching holds on to both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and doesn't bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house, and do not give him any greeting. And I think that's implied that receiving him into your house and giving him a greeting is not like just saying hi to somebody, but it's giving him a greeting as a fellow believer. So it's basically saying that you share faith with that person. I'm just going to go back through a little bit. Let's see. This is the direction. This is the instruction. This is the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, that you're supposed to be. And the imposters who are leading others into error through corruption and deception are the people who don't admit and proclaim Yeshua HaMashiach as purely a human being. So those are the people that that it says that they're the imposters leading others into error through corruption and deception. And Yoshua means Yahweh is rescue. That's what the name Yoshua means. So Yoshua is actually, just in his name, he's pointing to his father, saying that his father is salvation. And Hamashiach means the anointed one. Like they would take kings or priests or other people that had an important office like that, and they would anoint their head with oil, signifying, well, there's a lot that it's signifying, but I can't remember all of it right now. But basically signifying that they have the essence or responsibility or blessing of Yahweh on them. That's my understanding, anyways. Let's see, going back through. Yeah, I already explained everyone who goes and leads forward. So they're going outside of the teaching of Yahweh, the teaching of Hamashiach. They're going beyond that. When I say the teaching of Yahweh, the teaching of Hamashiach, because some of Yahweh's teaching is Hamashiach. That's his, seems to be his primary message, because it's the means of rescue, and it's also not only just the means of rescue, but it's also our role model and our example of how to follow the instructions, and our destination as far as Yoshua himself, through what he went through, gives us reason for why we have to suffer and why things are so difficult and why there's death. So, but I'm not going to go into all of that right now. I'm just going to keep on going. Yahweh. The name Yahweh means he exists. And I think it's referring to, he's the self-existent one. He's the life source. So that's the name Yahweh. And Elohim means a powerful authority. Either powerful authorities or very powerful authority. Because it's plural, but it's a plural of either quantity or quality. And in the case of Yahweh, of Elohim, it's a plural of quality. So going on. Oh, power and authority, prime mover, and also gentle protector. So that's what Elohim means. Powerful authority, prime mover, and gentle protector. And in the case of Yahweh, it would be ultimate. So he's the ultimate powerful authority, and he's the ultimate prime mover, and he's the ultimate gentle protector. And it says, if anyone comes to you and doesn't bring this teaching that Yeshua HaMashiach is purely a human being, don't receive him into your house as a fellow believer, and don't give him a greeting as a fellow believer. So, that's my understanding anyways. Going on, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3 through 4, and then verses 9 through 11. I'm just going to read. Because that day won't arrive until the rebellion comes first, and the man of Torahlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. The one who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship. And as a result, he sits as Yah, or as God, in the house of Yahweh, showing he himself as Yahweh, or God, whose coming will be by Shatan's working with all kinds of miracles and signs and false wonders, and with every kind of evil deception directed against those who are lost, because they didn't receive and embrace the truth to be rescued and saved. For this reason, Yahweh of Elohim sends on them a working of error, a strong delusion, so that they will believe and firmly trust in a lie. There's a lot there. The man of Torahlessness. So this is a man that does not follow Torah, that does not proclaim Torah, that does not teach Torah. So that's the man of Torahlessness, the son of destruction. So there are times when people are called the son of the commandments, meaning they're somebody who follows the ways of Yahweh. So they're a son of the commandments. Now, of course, they can be a son or a daughter. It's I think it's more of like an almost generic term. It's not specifically referring to one gender. At least that's my understanding. But yeah, he's saying a son of the commandments. So this is the opposite of that, because the son of the commandments, the son of Yahweh's instructions, would be a son of life, because Yahweh is life, and his commandments lead to life. But this person, this man, is a man of Torahlessness. Yeah, he doesn't have Torah. He doesn't do Torah. He doesn't proclaim Torah and teach that we should do Torah. So he's a son of destruction. He's heading towards death and destruction. And this being opposes and exalts himself above every so-called god or object of worship. So this being is thought of as better than every other god or object of worship. And as a result, he sits as Yah, or God, in the house of Yahweh. Now, the house of Yahweh, that's commonly known as the temple. But in modern times, it says in the scriptures that his temple is now in our hearts and minds, in our inner person. That's where his temple is. So it's not, he's no longer dwelling in a temple made by human hands. He's dwelling within the temple of our hearts and minds, our inner person. So this being would sit inside of the inner person, saying that he is God, or he is deity, he is Yahweh, he is Yah, that he's God. So, showing he himself as God. So this being would show he himself as God or deity. And his coming will be by Satan's working, so with all kinds of miracles and signs and false wonders. So if you know of any miracles or signs or wonders, and they're coming from someone besides Yahweh, maybe it's talking about this man of Torahlessness. And with every kind of evil deception directed against those who are lost. So he'll be a deceiver, he'll deceive. And of course, with deception, you don't know you're deceived. That's part of what entails deception, is there's deception going on and you don't realize that you're deceived. Otherwise, you wouldn't be deceived. And that, when Eve, when she was deceived, she didn't know she was deceived. Otherwise, she wouldn't have accepted it. But that's part of deception, is not realizing what's going on. So for this reason, because they're not embracing Yahweh, they're not embracing the truth and the truth of his instructions, Yahweh sends on them a working of error, a strong delusion, so that they will believe and firmly trust in a lie. So Yahweh is the one who is causing them to believe and firmly trust in a lie. Yahweh sends them that working of error, that strong delusion, so that they will believe and firmly trust in a lie, being deceived, not realizing they're deceived, because they're not embracing Yahweh and his instructions. Then in Mattityahu, or Matthew chapter 24, verse 24, it says, because false messiahs, and that would be antichrists, because antichrists and false spokesmen, false prophets, false people who proclaim that they're giving Yahweh's message, will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if it is within their power, even the chosen. So if it's within their power to deceive even the chosen, they're going to do it. And they're going to perform great signs and wonders. So wonderful things they're going to make appear. And then in Romans chapter 1, verse 22 and 25, it says this: although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the weight of importance of the incorruptible Yahweh for an image in the likeness of a man, or birds, or four-footed animals, or reptiles. They or who, it says who in the Greek, because Greek has really long sentences from what I understand. They exchanged the truth of Yahweh of Elohim for the lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen, which means this is absolutely true. So it's absolutely true that the Creator is blessed forever. Absolutely, concretely true. No way around it. The Creator is blessed forever. They exchanged the truth of Yahweh of Elohim. Well, Yahweh of Elohim, I have gone into this in a previous video entitled Why Jesus is and Cannot Be God. Yahweh of Elohim is invisible, and he says that he is not a man or a son of man. So Yahweh, the Creator, is not a man or a son of man, and he is invisible. He has never been seen, and he cannot be seen. So they're trading the importance of the incorruptible Yahweh. He can't be corrupted, and he can't die. He's immortal, so he cannot die, for an image in the likeness of a man. An image in the likeness of a man, or birds, or four-footed animals, or reptiles. They exchanged the truth of Yahweh for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator. Yahweh is the Creator. He's the only one. He's the Creator. Now, there are a number of things that I have found that you can attribute to the Antichrist. Antichrist characteristics. Anti means against, or replace, or substitute. Now, I know the Pope claims to be the Antichrist. One of his titles is Vicarius Filii Dei. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that quite right, but it means substitute of Christ. That's what his name means. So the Pope claims to be the Antichrist, but I'm just going to keep on going. Antichrist characteristics. He doesn't follow Yah's instructions, and he's Torahlessness. He's Torahless. He doesn't follow Torah. He's without Torah. He denies that Yehoshua is Hamashiach. Okay? He denies that Yehoshua is the coming promised Messiah. He denies that Yehoshua as being a purely human being, and only a human being. And he is a man exalted as God above all other gods. He's exalted himself as God above all other gods. So if you know of a man who is exalted as a god above all other gods, and who claims to be a God-man, and he doesn't have Torah anymore, and if you follow him, you don't have to follow Torah, that sounds like the Antichrist. It sounds like him. Now, I know that Yahweh alone is the ultimate powerful authority. He states this in Scripture. He says that I myself alone created the heavens and the earth. He also says that he alone is Elohim, the ultimate powerful authority. No one but him. No one but Yahweh. Now, I see the root of the Antichrist as the virgin birth. To me, that is the root of the Antichrist. That is the strong delusion. The virgin birth, I've gone over this in another video entitled The Origin of the Messiah Yehoshua. The virgin birth is an impossibility. The virgin birth makes Yahweh an adulterer, because he's impregnating a woman while she's basically married, betrothed, but in that culture, the betrothal was as solid as a marriage. The only reason it wasn't considered a full-fledged marriage, from my understanding, is because the man was off busy building their home for them to live in. He was busy building their home. That's why they weren't fully married yet. They weren't able to live together because he was still building their home. But so they were betrothed, but it was basically marriage. In that culture at that time, they would have had to get a written document, legal divorce, to separate if they were betrothed. So they had to get a legal divorce if they were betrothed. So Yahweh, if he impregnated Miriam, or the Holy Spirit, Ruach Kodesh, what people call the Holy Spirit, if they think, whether they think that's a separate entity, which is not, it's either Yahweh himself or the power of Yahweh. But if they think that Yahweh impregnated Miriam, they've just made Yahweh an adulterer. They made him a liar. He's disqualified from being deity, and they've basically just overthrown the foundation of all reality and creation. So they've just nullified everything. They've just nullified the faith. They've just invalidated the faith if they think that the virgin birth actually took place. Also, if they think the virgin birth took place, they've gone from monotheism to polytheism, because they've just created two deities, because they have the Father, and then they say that the Son is deity. So there's two deities, polytheism. And it invalidates Yehoshua as Mashiach, because the only way that he could be Mashiach is if Yosef is his father. Because the genealogy in Mattityahu and the one in Luke also both point to Yosef as being the father of Yehoshua. So if you read the genealogies and you're reading in Matthew and you get to Yehoshua and then you see that if you think that Yosef's not his father, then you've just nullified the whole genealogy and you've just disqualified him from being HaMashiach. So if there's someone that's born from a virgin, like say someone commonly known as Jesus, he cannot be Messiah, and his father is an adulterer and not a deity worthy of worship. That's for sure. He's as bad as Zeus, who was like a sleep around deity, sleep around with human women. He was just trash. He was worthless. Anyways, yeah, so that's the Antichrist. And the one who fits all of these claims, the only one I know of who fits all of these claims, is the one commonly known as Jesus. So you've got Antichrist Jesus. He is the Antichrist. Jesus is the Antichrist. Yehoshua, the man, the human being, completely human being, he was Mashiach. He came and he was spoken of and prophesied, for lack of a better word, as early as the beginning with the two Adams. I call them the two Adams. It's really the male and female, the man and the woman. And then later the woman gets named Hawa, and the man's name becomes man in Hebrew, Adam. But that's when he first is prophesied. It's to Adam and Hawa. So, yes, Jesus is the Antichrist, the God-man, the one who sets himself up as God, showing himself that he is God, sets himself up in the hearts and minds, the temple of the Almighty, showing himself that he is God. I welcome feedback. This is something I feel very, very strongly about. Very strongly about. Only Yahweh is the Almighty. Only Yahweh is the Creator, and there is no other. There is no other. No God-man. Nope. No God-man. Doesn't exist. That's just that strong delusion that I was talking about. That working of error. Working of error. Believing a lie. And also, Jesus is said to Jesus is said to have fulfilled the Torah so that people don't longer have to follow the Torah. They don't have to follow the Torah anymore because Jesus fulfilled it. Well, actually, when it says that he came to fulfill the Torah, it's an idiom meaning that he came to teach it correctly. He didn't come to destroy it. He came to fulfill it. He didn't come to wrongly interpret and teach it. He came to teach it accurately and correctly. That's what the term means. It's an idiomatic expression. So, Antichrist Jesus. Please feel free to leave comments, anything you like down below, and thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful or at least interesting. Shalom to you. I hope you have a very good life. And I hope that you're able to get away from the strong delusion, the lie of the God-man. Shalom. Thanks. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Bye.